So, yes.
Oh, now we're live. You have to click on the live button now on the YouTube channel. No.
Oh, Lordy.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go ahead and play that song again. Stupid YouTube! What is going on with all this new shit on here with the studio? But, that's kind of irritating. Alright, we're gonna restart here. Welcome to the first ever episode of the brand new show called For the Marks. I'm your host, Logan Myers. The marks are out. But I got back up against them marks. And my temporary co-host, Hammers.
Hey, everybody, I'm here.
I'm here.
Yes,
I think YouTube's here. I don't know at this point.
but you know who else is not here? Billy Gunn. Did you know that Billy Gunn hates Popeyes but loves KFC?
What? Hang on. He hates Popeyes.
He hates Popeyes, but he loves KFC.
But he loves KFC. Well, that makes sense.
Who knew?
Who knew that, Billy Gunn was that,
He is the one and only.
He is the one and only. But, man, it's good to be back. Brand new show for the marks. And, yes, I'm bringing some of the old school stuff that started the channel. That went over to Saturday Night Myers. But now, this isn't all about me. This is all about the marks, for the marks. And I'm glad, Hammers, that you're here with me for this show tonight. But first of all, Hammers, I do want to let you promote yourself. The K&H Show. What's coming up next on the channel, and what can people view at this moment?
Well, there's a lot of things. One of them is the fact that we just did the Vengeance show. We recorded that. But that won't be coming out anytime soon because my computer decided to croak. It is complete deado. No life left to give. I am right now talking to you all on a phone. So, yeah, that's fun.
No, that doesn't sound fun, sir.
Oh, yes, it isn't fun, but it is fun still. So, yes, I am talking to you all via a phone. A phone.
And it sounds really good.
I know. Thanks for the plugins.
Yes.
But
I do want to say, before we started the show, you did say specifically that at least you got an extra 5 years on the laptop, so that's a positive.
maybe, I don't know. The laptop could just go patunk anytime too. So, listen,
yeah.
life is like a game of Russian roulette. You never know what's gonna die first.
Yeah, you really don't. Me or the laptop.
Yeah. See, I'm not crazy at all, actually.
No, you're not. You're really not. But Hammers, go ahead. You can follow Hammers out on Twitter at. Go ahead.
Do I have to do? I have to do?
Yeah,
do I
ahead.
do I have to do the gimmick? Okay.
It's not a show without the gimmicks.
Oh yeah. You could follow me on Twitter at Hammers of Hell. You could follow me on YouTube at K&H Show. You could try to find me on Facebook or Instagram, but you can't because you got them fat asses.
Yeah, you really do.
Talking to you, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. Or Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning.
Hey now.
Well, my bad.
That's my brother you're talking about.
God damn it. But anyways, let's get this show rocking, Hammers. We're gonna start things off with just a couple little pointers for both AEW and NXT from tonight. The first part we're going to talk about is AEW All Elite Wrestling on TNT. Yes, that is a shout out to them. And you guys got some pre-promotion from Future Entertainment. The first things first is, what's your thoughts on the new stable in AEW called the Inner Circle with Chris Jericho and as the leader. Go ahead, Hammers. I'll let you start things off.
Cool promo to introduce the company uh, of young men to the group, especially putting over the young guys. Chris Jericho doing an amazing job on the mic. And I mean, there's nothing more to say. He hypes up Sammy. He hypes up Jake and shoots for a little bit. Shoots on your boys, formerly LAX, aka Proud and Powerful, or something like that. Powerful and Pride, I think that's what they're called.
I think so.
But your boys over there, Santana and Ortiz, looking like badasses off of the Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or something like that, coming out there with the hats, looking all estranged. It's your Puerto Rican version of Price and Soap.
Pretty much, yes. You're right. Chris Jericho did put off a really good promo, and it's really good to see, like, he's got Jake, pretty much as the bodyguard for the group. You have the tag team, and then you have the young guy and Sammy. I do think Sammy he's going to be talked about here soon for me. I think that's the high spot for me for, like, the second question that's on here is highs and lows spots for AEW's tonight. I think Sammy is the one that sticks out just a little bit for me as well. I don't know if you agree.
I would say, and this might be just me being a little bodacious about some stuff, but there has been a lot of kind of, I want to say, lows for AEW. If there's any real big low for them, I think getting rid of that stigma of the main event from last week is really finally kind of shedded from tonight. I think if there was really a point that you could make, it would have to be the women's match. I think that could have been done a little bit better. I would have.
I don't mean to cut you off,
Yeah.
Hammers, though. For the women, though, I think it is. A lot of people's mentioned this on social media that the couple women's matches that we've had from last week and this week have really fell short.
Well, it's not that they fell short. It's just there's no real person to get behind in the women's division, really. Like, I'm guessing Kenny is the one who kind of has been the one in charge, because that's what I've heard. And it just seems as though the women, it just seems like there's not really the one person you really want to see do well. Like, there's just like, there's Riho. She's a nice small Japanese lady. There's Britt Baker, who's an actual doctor or dentist. Then you got, I think, really the only big character that's really blossomed from the start of AEW has been Nyla Rose. And you saw more character from her last week. It was a shame she wasn't on this show and did something to Ryu and just kind of build something up for maybe another match down the road. I would love to see another match between Nyla Rose and Riho, and actually make it like Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong, because that's immediately what I think of when I see Nyla Rose and Riho. It would just be
Me too.
it would just be great to see those two again. What I think they're going to go down is I think they're going to put Pearsley and Baker in the ring next, singles. And I would love to see those two go 2 out of 3. Like, not 2 out of 3 falls. I'm talking 2 out of 3 matches. And have like the last match be, that barn burner that we've all wanted to see the women's division do well in. Like, I want the women to do great in this league. I want them to be the best that they can be. It just seems as though it's lacking a little bit. There's not really the one star female in that division. There's more of just everybody's a female in this division. Anybody can win in this. There's not really that one star in the division. I would love to see someone become that star. Like, get on your hind legs and start whipping some ass, because I want to see a woman do really well in this division.
Me too. I agree with you totally on that, because I think, like you said, Nyla is pretty much the only one in the division that I can... And you don't want to get behind her because she's technically a heel, but that's the only one that I can get behind character-wise, and who's like a legitimate threat to the women's championship.
Yeah.
So that's the question that's going to remain for future episodes for All Elite Wrestling, is who will become the very first women's champion, and who is going to, and that's what the potential for AEW is creating that one star, and like for the women's division, because the very first one could be that one potential, rising up star.
Yeah.
Making that could get opportunities in the future to be, a bigger star than everyone else on the roster. But hopefully we will see that in the future.
Yeah. And also, for a high note, the main event tag match between Dustin and Hangman versus Jericho and Guevara. Great match by all four.
Yes.
I would say a little sloppy at times, but I mean, you're gonna have those every once in a while. It's a matter of fact of, okay, if it just seems a little sloppy, then let it be. Let's continue watching. Let's see what happens. It wasn't like WCW 2000 sloppy. We're talking. They have a few missteps here and there, but it's fine.
Yeah, and it's a tag team match that me and you both will agree on, that they're both teams have really never tag teamed together. So
yeah.
But we're not really talking about that part of it either, because you do have your Hangman, and the really the only person in the main event that you can really say that you kind of understand that he did have any is Sammy, but
yeah, but those guys did really, really well, and when the match ended too, with Jericho hitting the Judas effect, like, that move is so well protected in this division. Like, this move is some people have to worry about, something that people are gonna be careful of getting hit with.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this: the ending with Cody coming out, with the Bucks coming out, with MJF slightly looking to turn on Cody at the end and then not doing it, that was great. I love that passionate storytelling. And then as Jericho is like about ready to walk up the ramp, there's Darby Allin, who, again, like, their match tonight, even though it wasn't, deathmatch hardcore wrestling, actually was quite decent. Like,
yes, it was.
Those two guys actually put out a decent wrestling match. Like, Like Cody, like whoever helped them with this match did great because it puts over the coffin drop as a move that you have to be worried about. And if there's anything that I will critique about the show from a production standpoint, I think Excalibur is only there as kind of as like a man who makes like notes about certain things.
Yeah, and
Like
to really, and also to kind of give Tony and Jim Ross a slight breather.
yeah, like it seemed like instead of having like what I said beforehand is that Excalibur kind of became your color guy with just kind of a little bit of factoids and every once in a while.
Yeah, and he
And
was also calling a lot of moves. When majority of the time I was thinking Jim Ross was going to do that, mainly, or like Tony, but it was
yeah,
actually Excalibur doing that. And I'm actually I do like Excalibur as a commentator, and I think he fits perfectly with Tony and Jim.
oh yeah.
So
I think there's still one problem though. They really haven't told us why Excalibur wears the mask. And I mean, I know why he wears the mask, and I bet another few people do as well. But it would be nice to if AEW were to like do a like sit down with certain superstars or certain commentators and just have them talk to the camera and explain why they love wrestling or something like that. Just something to just kind of learn a little bit about the people that we're seeing every week. So
that's a good point because it will also help catapult like their characters. It will help tell their story, their backgrounds, and stuff like that. And in pro wrestling, that's always a positive because the more you know about somebody you've never watched before, and this is episode number 2, that it helps all around. And I do want to mention one more high point for the number 2, and it's not about this episode, but it's about AEW Dark on YouTube.
Oh.
Have you seen or heard anything about that, Hammers?
Yeah, I've seen the 4 matches from the DC show.
I will say thumbs up because the Dark matches and putting it on YouTube with Tony, being the host, perfect. And to me, the Dark matches, I'm not gonna lie, most of them, actually all 4 of them, could have easily been on the show. I don't know if you agree with me on that one.
I would agree.
And that's one thing I like because it kind of, if people are gonna say, "Oh, you guys talked about all the content WWE's doing," it's 1 hour. It's dark matches. It's not televised on TV. It's on YouTube where you can watch it anytime. You can pause it and watch it later. It's not something you have to watch. So why are people complaining on social media? It seems like some people just bitch to bitch anymore.
Yeah.
But anyways, I guess the last question I'm going to add is if you could give a grade to this week's episode of AEW, what would you give it, Hammers?
Letter or star?
Give it a either one. Go ahead.
I'll give this a good B. Again, there was a few things that could have been done a little bit better, and some things that could have been done better production wise. Mm-hmm. But I think overall in general, quite good. Like if I'm going to watch, I think Jim Cornette's going to say a few things about certain things, but I think you would agree to some extent. Like this was quite quite decent show. Like it wasn't too terrible, but it wasn't like the best. I
No,
think there's
and
I think there's could be better.
it could be better and it could be worse, and I think we can agree. I know we're trying to find things to disagree on, but I think we can both agree that we don't expect it to be an A plus show every week. We don't expect it to be an A. Hell, I don't even expect it to be a B or a B minus, B plus, because it's their second show production wise, and the only critique that I could say that I feel like it needs to be fixed is the ring announcer needs to be you need to be able to hear him a little bit louder. I think the some of the audio needs to be turned up, turned down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the theme music, that's another one. Some of the entrances, it seemed like I could barely hear their entrance music.
Mhm.
But then when it was like Chris Jericho, you can plain as day know what song it is. But for other guys, like I think it was Darby Allin, I couldn't even hear his theme song over the commentary.
Yeah, I would agree. There's sometimes where that it could help a little bit. It needs a little improving on.
But those are the things that you I wouldn't really even call it a critique because it's gonna happen. You know,
Yeah.
it's they're gonna fix it at some point down the line, and at some point, you know, it's gonna be really fun to watch, and just the little things need adjusted, and it will be adjusted in the future. So I'm not gonna really complain. And I know a lot of people have complained about the entrance stage being the same as the pay-per-views. Technically, it's not, but at the same time, yes, it kind of some little details of it is, but
I
it's
I
the second show, and look at it. Hammers, did WCW have the same, you know, stage for the like a couple pay-per-views and the same shows when they first started?
yeah,
So did TNA. So did
yeah.
WWE. Yeah,
I think if sometimes you don't need it, sometimes you do. It would just help if if you create a different atmosphere with different stuff. So like I would like to see at Full Gear maybe something a little different,
yeah.
like with Double or Nothing. They had poker chips as kind of a way to introduce into the crowd.
Mhm.
With Fighter Fest, they had Pretty Women up on top of there for like the pre-show matches and some tents and stuff like that. That helps kind of present it as something new and different.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have the basic setup the same, but it'd be great to add a little bit of flair into here or add a little bit of flair into there. Like it needs that kind of bits of flair to kind of make it feel a little different. So
Yeah, and I know people are gonna say, well, next pay-per-view or whatever, they need to go all out. No, they don't.
no,
They just need to change little things here and there, and then in a year, you know, they can, you know, go all out if they want. But at the
yeah,
same time, for me, like you said, you mentioned the tents, you mentioned the women, the poker chips. It's just little different details on the stage that makes it a different show than the last, and it's okay to me,
yeah.
and I'm fine with it. But I guess we can move on to NXT so we can get through this show.
Now I would like to make this note very very clear.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm hearing about NXT. So so I'm going to be shocked and surprised as many other people are. But you know who else would be shocked and surprised?
Well, who's that?
Billy Gunn.
Oh,
Did you know that Billy Gunn owns every, now that's what I call music, on every format they have been available on every musical platform.
wow, wow! I did not know that.
There you go.
Another one that I did not know. Okay. Well, some Billy Gunn facts all night tonight. I'm cool with it. But then again, let's start off with NXT. We do want to mention a couple things that is happening. Yes, Hammers is having a little bit of a hiccup on his audio, but he's back now. Back now.
I'm typing. I'm typing.
Yeah, it's doing it again, but that's fine. We're gonna keep going. And Hammers can still hear me, so I'm gonna give him a couple seconds to answer after I'm done. The question is NXT. Let's start off with question number 1. What's your thoughts on Lio Rush as the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion? Hammers.
It is the greatest thing ever. Boom. Done. Nothing else to say. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I was like, I want to make sure I was able to be heard.
I can hear when it does dent, and then it like pauses, and I knew you're about to come back after that. So I know when you're going to come back, because then I hear the background. It's fine. But
good.
New NXT Cruiserweight Champion is Lio Rush. I will say this. Here's the positive about it. Lio Rush needed something to return on to get his momentum back. This is perfect. This is a shocker. Didn't see it coming. I know a lot of people are fans of Drew Gulak. We are.
Oh yeah, I'm big huge fan of Drew Gulak.
Big time.
But I wanted to see Lio Rush be the Cruiserweight Champion.
He is a Cruiserweight. Drew Gulak, I would like to see him go to bigger and better things.
Absolutely.
I probably shouldn't say this, but there is a report going out now that NXT owns the Cruiserweight Championship again.
Oh yeah, that's great. I would rather have that.
Yeah, and it's now the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and also there's a new title design. Well, it's going to be the same new title. It's going to be the same title, but they're changing it from purple to black.
Purple and black.
Yeah, they're changing it from purple to black. So the strap will no longer be purple here in a couple months.
And so the silver will be the same?
Yes.
Oh god, no. Make it gold. Please, make it gold.
They might end up making it gold. I hope they tweak that instead of this. Yeah. But I saw a picture of what it would look like, and I think it may have been gold actually. And I think the strap was black and it was gold, everything else in there's silver.
Yeah. I'd rather have it black than black and gold.
I gotta look
than
for
black
this.
And silver.
I'm gonna look for this right now. I'm gonna look for this while we're on here doing this, because I really want to find this picture and then put it on the stream so everybody can see.
Also, while you're looking for that, did you know that Billy Gunn has genetics that inspired Benjamin Button in Doctor Who?
What? I did not know that.
There you go.
I didn't know that. Alright. Here, I found it. I have found the picture of it. I'm going to save this image. And I'm going to add it to the live stream. Alright, so the highs and lows of spots for NXT. I know you didn't get to watch it, but we had Dakota Kai facing Bianca Belair. Bianca got the win, but it was actually a really good match.
Yeah.
The only low spots for the night is there weren't any low spots to me.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people will say, well, they're going to probably critique it and find something to complain about, of course. But moving on to the main event, it was Kushida and Walter.
No, I would like to make this well known. I'm not the hugest fan of Walter. I think there's a few good things that Walter has in his playbook, but I think the only real thing that I could say is a actual positive of his is his chops sound fucking gnarly.
Yes, they do. Vicious. I mean, It feels like why do I say it feels? But it sounds like somebody's skin is getting ripped off, literally.
Oh yeah, it's just gnarly, bruh.
I am going to put the picture on the corner, try to make it as big as possible so people can see it. There we go. So you can see it here in just a few seconds, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say Walter did get the win. It was announced next week that Tommaso Ciampa will be in action.
Okay.
Um, Also, it looks like Velveteen Dream and Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong will be facing off for the championship again in 2 weeks. But next week we will be getting who attacked Pete Dunne last week? Hammers, do you remember?
The Damon Priest.
Yep, those two guys will be going at it next week.
Okay, that's good.
So
I can't wait to see that one.
I will have to go and look for the other matches that were announced, but they did do another video teaser for Finn Balor, so they are really pushing Finn Balor to be back in NXT. So
Okay.
though actually there is a low point. The Forgotten Sons basically squashed. I know I said that weird, but they pretty much dismantled Breezango in tag team action.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they look going forward. The Forgotten Sons have always been kind of something I've kind of looked at as like, here comes the rejects of Buddy Murphy. It just, I've always looked at the Forgotten Sons as like, they've got it, but they don't got it. Like there's something missing in this formula that could just, if they had it, it would just push them, and I think people would get behind it. I just don't know what that is, to be frank with people. I think they can be great tag teams. I'm not seeing it right now.
That's true. There's gonna be questions that Forgotten Sons. A lot of people have criticized that tag team. I can excuse me. I can see the
Logan's
potential.
dying.
I can indeed see the potential. But there's gonna be some other things that I feel like that they need to do to like bolster up that whole gimmicks and that tag team. They need to push them, but we will see what happens. But I do want to let you know that that Cruiserweight Championship picture is on the live stream right now.
There you go.
So go ahead and look for it. Did you get to see it, Hammers?
Yeah, I got to see it.
What do you think?
It's good, but you know what else is good?
Go ahead.
Billy Gunn. You see, Billy Gunn once ate his own weight in pizzas, then won a match the next night on Raw, smelling of Coke and pepperoni pizza.
Huh. Well, he sweated out.
Hmm.
Yes, he did.
I mean, he is the one and only.
He is the one and only. But nice for the Billy Gunn facts. They are always the best.
I have more.
Oh, I know you do. But moving on to the hot seat segment of the night. 3 questions. You got as much time as you need, Hammers, to answer these. You're on the hot seat now, Hammers. Are you ready?
Oh,
We're both
here we
on
go.
the hot seat. First question.
Where's Ellen?
Oh, Jesus.
I need my Ellen. Ellen does the best hot seats of all time.
Yes, she does. All right, question number 1. Can
Okay.
AEW be legitimate competition for WWE and NXT?
No. And the reasoning why is that you have superstars there kind of originally. You have guys like Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Wrestling. You have those guys there who are on that superstar level, but they're still learning. They're still developing. With AEW, it's there is no developmental. You go out there and you try and get the people to like you, and it's a put up or shut up kind of a moment. So when it comes to you're looking at two different brands, and it's not that one's better than the other. We're talking about two different leagues that are going on. We're talking about the minors versus the majors. The majors are always going to be better than the minor leagues. I mean, name me one minor league team that everybody knows. No, nothing. There's not one minor league team, but name me a major league team.
You were right about that, because I think I
I'm
feel like
still, I'm waiting for you to name a major league team for me. I'm clueless.
On tag team, like
No. In sports.
Oofa. There is none.
Yankees, Mets.
I mean, yeah,
those are like major league teams.
Yeah, like
But
Yankees.
yeah,
You have a lot then.
Yeah, but when you talk about like people who like know like this minor league team, you're not really like, oh, yippee, the minor league team is well known in this area. Like, if NXT toured a little bit, I'm betting it would be different. I'm betting we wouldn't be talking like this. But I mean, since they are in Full Sail, and since like there's only those few people there that kind of mark out for them, it doesn't really represent NXT well enough. It would just help maybe if they go to like different spots in Florida, do the Southern territories. Go to Florida, go to Alabama, Louisiana, Texas. Go to small venues that you can put NXT in and make it look great. Like Center Stage in Atlanta, perfect place for them. Like they did it during the WrestleMania season, and they did great. Like put them in different places. It helps kind of grow the idea that okay, we're moving around a little bit more, and then after maybe 2 years or such doing the southern route, go and branch out to different places, like maybe go into Canada, maybe go into Seattle, California, Nebraska, like places like that, and just kind of throw your weight around into like smaller venues that NXT could really run great shows out of. It just helps kind of booster that. I mean, AEW, even though they've run 2 shows, they're still learning as well.
Yeah.
They're not a major player yet. But when you're comparing the two, you're talking about two different things when it comes to wrestling leagues. And that is, you have a major company with major dollars behind it, and then you have a major company supporting an idea of teaching and molding talent. That they're two different ideologies at play. And it's not that one is better than the other. It's you're talking this war, this Wednesday Night Wars really isn't a war yet, because we really haven't seen what AEW can really put out there. We haven't really seen what NXT has been able to put out there. We're just kind of shaking the dice in the cup and we're about ready to throw it out there and seeing what we got. It's we don't have a war yet. We have to wait to see, I'd say in 2 months or so, if we really actually have a war here.
I agree with you on that one.
Took too long.
No, good. You're fine. I was just I was listening and trying to fix some of the issues on the stream, because apparently we having a
Yippee-ki-yay.
nothing horrible, just I gotta fix a couple things.
Just a little bit of shenanigans happening.
Yes, apparently.
You know who else doesn't care for shenanigans?
Oh, who's that?
Billy Gunn.
Oh, God.
So Billy Gunn has never stubbed his toe, stepped on a Lego, cut himself shaving, had a splinter, or a paper cut.
Really?
Yeah. Another Billy Gunn fact.
Did not know that fact once again.
See? People need to get smart about Billy Gunn. You're underestimating the one and only.
Yes, I am, apparently.
Well, not just you. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
So what's your next question?
The second question is, which star or stars has the most potential in AEW?
It's a tough call to make, because again, we're only going off of 2 weeks really of television. I could say this for sure: the Luchasaurus is a guy that people are sleeping on, but should be the next Chad Gable. Like people need to get behind him like immediately, because I could see him winning the world championship in 2 to 3 years. Like he's got the thing that people like. I think you give him some time. I don't think you go heel him out and then him win a championship off of Cody or something like that. But you give them Luchas, maybe even give him like a secondary title. Make him be your first secondary champion. Like have him win like the TV title or something like that. I don't know. You give him the title to kind of win, and you just let him run with it for like half a year or such, and just let him run roughshod on the television division.
Yeah.
Like you Luchasaurus, I think, has the great possibility of being a future star in any company. He's got the movement, he's got the look, he's got the feeling of. I think maybe his storytelling could be a little bit better, but he's still a young guy. He can run around and do the moves, and I think it would be great to see him do it. I would also point out maybe someone to look out for. I think if you really be careful for Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy has the ability to do it. I think he could, if they come up with a cruiserweight or a bantamweight division in AEW and make him their main guy for that, perfect. Like he's the guy that I think will do very well in singles competition. I'm trying to think of my 3 stars here. Who's my third? If I'm really going to say one particular person that I'm going to have that I know is going to be my future heavyweight champion,
I swear if you say my guy.
I think it's going to be MJF. MJF is like no joke. I think I think if you get him in the right place at the right time, he is going to be a bona fide superstar. Like he is going to be like the Chris Jericho, like Chris Jericho was for WWE. MJF's going to be that for AEW. I think if you give him the right stuff and you put him in the right places, he is a bona fide superstar anywhere he can go. Like we're just seeing, I think, about 15% of what MGF can really do. And my only thing that I worry about is that if it ever has to come down to him being a face, what would it be like?
Uh-huh.
Like that, I know it sounds crazy, but it would be interesting to see how he does as a face, because he still is that smarmy little heel that likes digging at you a little bit.
Well, not even that. He's really good at being a heel. He's got all the potential in the world. He was going to be my top guy I was going to mention, by the way, and I'm glad you did it for me, so we can throw off each other on this one. MJF, as a heel, we know what he can accomplish and what he can do in the future, but as a face, that is the question that you brought up that is perfect to even bring up, because I think that is going to be what Seth Rollins should have been in WWE. Just saying.
Yeah, I just worry that if something in AEW goes awry and MJF leaves, it's going to be one of the very low points of AEW. Like he can, I think Jim Cornette even put it best. He's the Ric Flair of this generation, and he should be treated as that.
Yeah.
He's great on the mic. He's great in ring. He's got perfect psychology. If there's anything you could maybe say is a downside, I could only see him as a heel. It'd be interesting to see what he can do as a face. And
that kind of reminds me, I don't mean to cut you off, it kind of reminds me of Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Because we know what he can do as a heel, but, him as a face, a lot of people question it already. They say, why is he a face when he's better as a heel? But Kevin Owens could technically pull off. I'm not saying he will be Stone Cold of the future. No. Nobody can do that.
No.
But there's not going to be another Rock or Austin or Hogan. Let's just put that to the side right now. But Kevin Owens can pull off a character like a Stone Cold, but not be Stone Cold. He can be... Yeah. He's just got to be Kevin Owens. And if there is a guy that I had to put next to each other to say that's who, MJF reminds me of, is Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he reminds me so much of somebody else. And I think you already know who I'm going to mention. I'm not going to mention the name. I want people to guess it on Twitter. How about that? Tag me and Hammers on Twitter and try to guess who I'm talking about from back in the day. And yes, part of it's Ric Flair, but there's a second guy that I do want to see if anybody can predict it.
Kevin Nash.
Jesus Christ. And no, it's not Billy Gunn. And no, it's not Chavo Guerrero when he dyed his hair blonde and was like a golf player.
But speaking of Billy Gunn.
Okay.
Did you know that since Chris Benoit has been erased from WWE, Billy Gunn never actually lost the Intercontinental title, which technically means he is entering his 19th year as the IC champion. Billy has the strap at home on his couch whilst WWE plays with a fake belt that Shinsuke Nakamura has right now. He has it right now in AEW and is just waiting to debut it.
Yes, I agree with you. That was a good one. I love that one. Love these facts about Billy Gunn. But I do want to mention my stars for AEW before we move on to the last one on the hot seat segment is, of course, MJF is my first. I'm starting to get beside Darby Allin a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's still going to be some things that a lot of people are saying he shouldn't cut promos because of his character. But I want to hear that sadistic character of Darby Allin. I want him to just go out there and be that creepy ass, no fucks given character. That's what I want to see. And my third and last one is Hangman Page. And of course, a lot of people are going to say, well, how are you going to say he has all the most potential when he already has the potential? Well, let's just say he lost to Chris Jericho. And a lot of people were like, AEW's being just like WWE, not giving the stars of the future a chance. Shut up. You need somebody that is... you know what I'm trying to say, Hammers.
Yeah.
You need somebody that's going to make that title relevant, and sometimes for a guy like Hangman Page, he will get his time, but for now, until you get to know more about Hangman Page, you get to get behind him more, you know, he's better off chasing the championship until that opportunity comes in the future to go after the title again. And then when he does win it out of nowhere, boom, you have somebody that is a potential star on the rise, just like an MJF. Just pointing that out there. Now, I just want to say which star or stars, you just name 3 if you want, I don't care, has the most potential in NXT. That's going to be the question for the last hot seat segment.
Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream I can see as the next John Cena of WWE. I can also see Johnny Gargano being that your kind of Undertaker-ish guy. Not saying character-wise, but he is a staple of your WWE roster. He is the guy that is dependable. He is the guy you can get a good match out of anybody and you could tell a great story with. And then Tommaso Ciampa is your next supervillain that you can make even better. Like it's the same thing with MJF. I'm really waiting to see what he does as a face with this character of just being, I want my gold championship back. Please give me it back or I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like I want to see I am waiting to see how face Ciampa does. And from what I've seen so far, business is good.
Yeah, and I do want to point out a couple of things that on NXT. I don't want to spoil it for you, but
I'll spoil it.
Roderick
Spill
Strong
all the tea.
almost lost another match this week, kind of almost to like Velveteen Dream, but he did end up winning because the Undisputed Era came out, and then they were all in the ring and they cut their promo. Adam Cole cut his promo, and then Velveteen Dream's music played and he cut a promo and he. During that promo, he showed a picture of Roderick Strong, butt-ass naked, on a couch with the title wrapped around his you-know-what.
The good old Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, he did Shawn Michaels. And then Velveteen Dream did the promo at the end, and he said, in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to beat you, Roderick Strong, and of course, you're going to come up just a little short.
That's a good one.
Really good one. And then they're, pissed off, after Velveteen Dream leaves. And then Tommaso Ciampa's music comes on. He comes out. The Undisputed Era retreated as he walked down to the ramp, got in the ring, put a chair in the ring, sat down. The Undisputed Era was on the ramp, and he says, he looks at all the fans and then Undisputed Era. But he didn't really look at them. He looked more at, Goldie.
Oh yeah.
And there was one sentence that he said. He says, "Goldie, I'm home," and then drops the mic. And the crowd just went wild. Perfect.
I love that. I love that. This is the Ciampa I want to see. I want to see crazy old kook Tommaso Ciampa go after his belt again. Now, big question.
Yeah.
What is War Games going to look like this year?
That's a good question.
Because if I had my way, to be truthful and honest, if I had my way, I would have the War Games be the most interesting that I think would ever happen. All 4 titles, or all 3 titles on the line: North American, Tag, and the World Championship, all on the line. And
I think that's what they're pushing for, actually.
I mean, they could be. I don't know.
I don't know either, but
it
would be smart.
Indeed. Now the question is, who would the tag be for the other team? Because that's the one that is a little.
Can't be Street Profits.
No, because they're on Raw or SmackDown.
Well, actually, I don't even know if they're going to be drafted. That hasn't been,
Yeah, that's true.
We don't know if they're staying in NXT for now or not. Tag team, that's a good question.
Because that's the only thing that I'm flubbing up on, is that there isn't really another tag team in that division really right now.
Tommaso Ciampa and Velveteen Dream's definitely going to be on one side.
Yeah.
But who's going to be with them?
Yeah.
Maybe a Matt Riddle?
No. Matt Riddle's... I have him already plugged in for a match there. There really isn't a good tag team right now in NXT. That would be a good face.
The only thing I can think of... Hear me out.
Yeah.
And I don't know how big this report is, or that rumor that was going wild, a month or 2 ago.
Breezango.
No. I was thinking of maybe Enzo and Big Kaz, coming back.
No. They're not going to pull that trigger.
I mean,
I'm going to be truthful and honest. It's going to take a Bret Hart level return for Enzo and Cass to show back up.
There was also a rumor of an old former WWE tag team from back in the day coming in, who want to have a couple matches with the Undisputed Era, but
headbangers.
Yeah, I don't know about. But it's War Games, so we need a tag team. The War Games needs to be like main event stars.
I mean,
so it's kind of hard to say. That's a good one.
I mean, the only thing I think of is Street Profits, and even though they lost the tag titles, you give them this is their final hoorah on the show, and they lose. I mean, it may sound too simple to do, but I mean, have the Street Profits come in for War Games, let them do some crazy stuff, and then end it. That's it. Street Profits lose and stuff.
Excuse me.
But yeah, I think it may be too simple, but I think it'd be easy enough.
Mad Metal Man in the chat says, forced tag teams maybe, a unified enemies thing maybe, or is that not a possibility? Anything's a possibility.
Yeah.
I think for War Games, NXT creative would go in the route of trying to not let people think of a certain team that's right now on NXT. I think they want to make a get like a huge pop that now that they're on USA Network, they need a tag team that could come in and shock everyone that they're here, in NXT. So I don't know. It's a good question, but I do want to mention my three NXT potential stars. And my first one is Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm.
My second one is I'm going with underrated stars, by the way. Keith Lee. I feel like he's decent enough to put on this list. And my third one, there was a star that I had on my mind, and now it's gone. Crap. Crap. I don't know. Walter. I'll just say Walter for now. Or
Walter, big boy.
or Kushida. That's another one that you could put in the mix because he hasn't been there that long, so you don't really know.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Potential. How about the new Cruiserweight Championship for NXT, Leo Rush? I'll throw that one in the mix instead.
Yeah. I would like to see him do the Blackheart thing. That'd be interesting.
That's a good thought as well. I didn't really think of that one now.
Yeah.
So,
And to those who don't know, he would do this kind of like paint thing with a black heart in the middle of his chest, and would do a few, like, he would walk a little different, he would act a little different during the match and stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, you guys need to check that out. Look it up. But on to the next thing so we can wrap the show up here in just a little bit. It's only been an hour. Can't believe it. Doesn't seem. It seems like it's been longer than that. Future Now news.
Yes.
Next week we will be talking about Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, Tyson Fury, Braun Strowman, and more news. But for tonight we have four things. I'm gonna mention what we're gonna talk about, and then I have a question for the viewers and also for Hammers. A report has come out in the news we can indeed bring everyone is that Jerry the King Lawler will be temporary on commentary. WWE would like to replace him with, here's the rumors going around, is Tom Phillips, Nigel McGuinness, and they've even been talking about some outside guys from back in the day.
Like,
I see they didn't really specify on, like, they said a heel character outside of WWE. So I don't even know what to even go with that. Who? I don't know.
There's so many, like, different people that you could pick from that would be good on commentary, as well as be a heel commentator.
Because apparently Jerry Lawler said that he can't stand doing commentary anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's old. What do you expect? I would say Nigel McGuinness is a perfect replacement. And then you get what's his name? Aiden English to do color on NXT UK. Like, and NXT. Like, that Aiden English would be great on color commentary.
Don't mean to cut you off, but Metal Man just said something. Mad Metal Man says, I'm not familiar enough with NXT. I know what I'm looking up tonight. And I'm guessing he just answered the heel commentator for us.
Scott Steiner.
I would love that, he says.
Scotty would be great.
Yeah.
Yes and no. There's a few reasons why.
There's quite a few reasons why,
Yeah,
but
there's no real Hall of Fame.
yeah.
There's no physical Hall of Fame. Where am I getting inducted into?
The, but the question is for everyone, including listeners, Mad Metal Man, you can chime in also. Should they make a change this early? And if they do, who should be the one to replace Jerry Lawler? Nigel, Tom, or someone else?
Nigel. Nigel should replace him. I think.
Should
I
he stay
think
in
it's
NXT as well?
no.
Then
That's
who
where you
next?
get Aiden English.
Okay.
I think Aiden English. You put him down in NXT. You give Maros him some time to learn underneath Morrow as to help him be a color commentator, and have Michael Cole there as well to kind of help him learn. Um, Either that or have another guy go down there. I would throw in a hat, and I would say Sam Roberts. I think could do a great color job. I don't know how well he would do
Wow.
it, but
That's way outside of the box.
that would be interesting to see him do it. Um, for NXT alone, I would have I would throw in Pat McAfee's name as well.
Wow.
He's uh, now you may say that I'm crazy for saying it, but I mean, if you listen to him do Thursday night college game days, he's done really well, and I think if you give him some time, and maybe during like the off season for college football, you put him on,
Hmm.
I think you could do some really great stuff. For the UK, I would have I would have maybe somebody else. I would go and throw in. I'm trying to think of a good name. Um, it may sound a little odd. Adrian Street.
Wow. See,
It
you were throwing some names in that.
I think now I may also be a complete dumb fuck for saying them, but I think if you give them the right time, you help them kind of get into that place of being a color commentator kind of guy. I think they could do really well. They know the sport ish, maybe not Pat McAfee that much, but they know enough about the sport to kind of make comments on certain things that maybe not the average wrestler or maybe not the average wrestling fan would see sometimes.
Hmm.
Like maybe he's holding him down for a certain reason. Maybe they're able to get some comments from the guys from before the show or something like that. Like you get color guys who are different, and you give them different things to work off of. So I think if you have three great replacements for Nigel McGuinness to go straight up to uh straight up to Raw. You Pat, Sam, and Aiden English, I think are great for NXT or NXT UK. Maybe not NXT UK for Pat McAfee, but I think in replace of Pat McAfee, you could go Adrian Street.
Couple names. Mad Metal Man said Finley for the UK.
Finley would be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to mention one name for Monday Night Raw to replace Jerry Lawler. And I know
Yeah.
that a lot of people are going to say, yeah, I don't know. Probably not. Um, and we're going to mention talk about this literally in a couple news articles after this, but CM Punk for Raw.
Uh,
I know it sounds, yeah, but hear me out. He was one of the best heels on the mic in 2011. He's not horrible doing commentary. I mean, It's definitely better than his UFC career. Shots fired.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, if we're gonna talk a heel, somebody good on the mic who knows wrestling, CM Punk would definitely be a better option than what we have currently in Jerry Lawler, who already seems like he's kind of, unhappy.
I would. I think the only problem with that is that you're throwing it in with Vince in the mix,
I know.
and I think that's going to be the bridge that you can't really cross that well. So if anything, I would say again go with Nigel McGuinness for Raw.
Yeah, and then just keep Punk for the backstage things because he doesn't have to deal with WWE. But Mad Metal Man says, I'm kind of happy that Lawler is going. He always struck me as the wettest of blankets. And he also said Punk would be good, at least on the entertainment front.
Yeah.
You got points there. And then Lawler back in the day was just one of the best commentators in history as a heel. But now he's just he's a little senile. And because he can't be what he used to be, he's just not. You guys know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
If you don't know where I'm going with this, then yeah, hang it up.
It's a long dreary road.
Yeah. But I guess we can move on to the next one. It has been rumored that WWE Hall of Famer has resigned with WWE and was headed to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to see if he can be medically cleared in order to make a return to the ring. That is the rated R superstar Edge. And the question for this one is, would you like to see Edge return? Why or why not? And then after you answer that question, I also have a second portion to that question.
Um, I think Edge has dispelled this rumor maybe already. I don't know.
He has, but you know how it is when WWE doesn't want things to be leaked. You're gonna tell Edge to say, no, it's not happening. But he was actually reported to be heading to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that is the home of that doctor that technically clears you for in-ring. So
But he could also be going down there for other reasons too, like
the
convention or something like that.
It was actually to the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the doctor. It was reported that he went to the doctor, and people might be thinking and taking this way too seriously. And I know I'm kind of, arguing the point that he's there at Pittsburgh for the doctor. Maybe he is, and if that is the fact, but that doesn't mean he is there to get medically cleared to return to the ring. Maybe he's just getting a checkup on his neck. WWE wants to keep up on his health since he re-signed. You know what I mean? It could just be something. Maybe he has some neck problems. Maybe he's been having some pain. He needs to get checked out. People shouldn't jump to the conclusion that, oh, it's a return. Believe it when you see it, right? Right, Hammers?
Yeah. It is.
It's like Punk. Believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I am very skeptical to think that it's again. I think we're diving into something that isn't too deep, and we just kind of need to let it just rest. If he does come back, I don't want to see him all the time. Maybe one match, but I'd rather him just stay retired, be happy with what he's able to do, and just leave it there. Like I don't want to see him come back and wrestle a full schedule. Please, no.
That's a good point. Edge is not gonna be able to do something. I don't even think he could do like a part-time schedule and do like 3 back-to-back matches. And Mad Metal Man right now, he says, "Oof, that's a rough one. I don't know how I'd feel about that. And is he even in good enough shape to do something?"
Oh yeah, he's in good shape.
He's definitely in good shape. He made a joke on Twitter saying he might get a little he might breathe a little hard, and he might be a little gassed. Like shot. He kind of threw the. Well, I wouldn't call it a shot, but I would mainly call it like a little joke to Shawn Michaels, because that match, him coming back for one tag team match.
Yeah.
But the second part of the question, because I know this part is actually you're gonna add on to what you were about to say. Should it be at Crown Jewel if he is cleared, or should they hold off for a pay-per-view like Survivor Series, or like just a one-off Royal Rumble appearance, or WrestleMania 36 for one match only?
I would just do WrestleMania. If he were to ever come back, it would just be a WrestleMania, just to give the fans a good pop for the night. Like, let them go home with a memorable moment. Like, you don't need, like, I don't want to see him go to Crown Jewel. I don't want to see him go
I don't want to see anybody go to Crown Jewel.
Yeah, well, WWE doesn't like what that says.
Yeah. I was gonna say Royal Rumble. Have him just be like a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. Hit a couple punches. Maybe a couple spears if he's able, and then just have him get thrown out by one of the heels.
But he's got to take a bump on the outside though. Still,
yeah,
that's
just be thrown off easily. I mean,
yeah, but I would. It's more of a fact of I worry that
I'd rather see him take like a small bump going over the rope than having a full-on like even 10-15 minute match.
Well, I'm not even saying go 10-15 minutes. I'm saying he shows up and does a few moves on a guy, and then like I want to see him Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 21. Like he comes out, you hear the music, people go crazy. He hits the Impaler DDT. He hits a spear, and does maybe another move, and that's it. That's all I want to see. I'd rather see him safe than.
Yeah, I'd rather see him safe too, and I think that's why I mentioned Royal Rumble. Like he could, throw a couple people out, hit a spear, and then just be easily thrown over the rope. And I think I just wanted to mention this. I would pop for if Christian comes out first, and then the next superstar is literally Edge, and then they go face to face in the ring, and then the heels kind of like just hit him soft or whatever, and
Yeah.
then they fight off, eliminate the heels, and then all of a sudden Christian throws Edge out. You know what I mean? That would be like a pop where Christian's always been behind Edge, so Christian kind of gets the last laugh for once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just something that would. That's why I said Royal Rumble would be a good pop, but WrestleMania would be too as well. You could just easily. You could even have him do like the heel's really cocky. He challenges Edge. Match starts, spear, pin, done. They could just do something like that.
Goldberg it.
Yeah, pretty much. Do something easy where you don't have to take many bumps at all. So, but last but not least, let's go with it. The last one. Apparently, it is a done deal for CM Punk to join Fox Sports 1 for WWE's Tuesday night show called WWE Backstage, alongside Renee Young and Booker T. And the question on this one is, what do you think of this report? And if it's indeed true, what is your thoughts?
It'll be a good acquisition, but I would venture out to say I don't really think it's going to happen. I think if it does happen, great. It's good money for Punk. Something else to do besides, commentating for a mixed martial arts promotion.
Yeah.
But I I tend to worry that it won't go well. Like like he'll do something and it won't turn out to be good. I rather see. I think if you're going to have him on, I think it would just be for like as a special commentator or a special contributor or something like that, where he just kind of shows up every once in a while, throws his kind of input on something as a former wrestler, and just kind of makes his money that way. I rather it would just make more sense to do that than
Yeah. Then, see, for me personally, if it was WWE hiring Punk, I believe it when I see it. But it's not the case. It's actually
it's Fox.
It's Fox, and apparently his audition went smoothly great. Like Fox was really up for paying CM Punk, and CM Punk said it was actually really good money because he actually did. I actually listened to a show he was on, or I guess it was a podcast, and
It was Keller Live or something like that.
yeah, something like that, and he said that it's if it was WWE, come back to wrestle. Nah, he's not in. But then, he mentioned the whole Fox is putting a lot of money out for this, and they really want it to succeed. And he said that he's used to doing stuff like this now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he said the audition went well, and apparently Fox reported that. Well, now Fox didn't report it, but the report said Fox indeed offered a contract to Punk, and Punk was going to agree to it and sign the deal. So I haven't seen much on it ever since. For me, if it happens, uh, this just helps WWE in the end for me because the fans get what they've been chanting for. It kind
of well, the fans have been chanting for CM Punk to return to the ring.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get that with this. I think it's going to be more talky than
maybe
walkie
down the
walkie.
line. Like I'm saying, let's say CM Punk's there for a year with Fox, and Fox comes to him and says, "We want you to return for one more match, but we're working with WWE, where you were working with Fox and not WWE for the match, and it's going to be for SmackDown at a pay-per-view WrestleMania or something like that. You get your payday, you stay on Fox. It's a one-time deal." I mean, if let's just say I'm saying like a couple years, maybe even 1-2 years from now, people are gonna start clamoring if CM Punk signs with Fox and he starts doing the shows in November. And literally, the very first after the very first show, people are gonna start reporting, in quotation marks, Punk's gonna eventually go to the ring. Because how the rumors start spreading.
Oh yeah.
But I'm saying like a year, two. He starts working with Fox. It goes really well, and then maybe WWE actually does call him and wants to talk to him because he did say he would listen if they called him, but he's not going to go out of his way to call them. They have to call him. So I mean, this is the type of thing of never say never, but at the same time, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I'm never gonna get my hopes up on anybody to return like that.
Yeah, I just I just it worries me a little bit because I have fond memories of Punk, and so I really don't want to see him fail back in the ring. So I rather him just be a contributor than a
performer.
Yeah.
And he's good at contributing commentary and shows like that. But Mad Metal Man says that might work well, but I'm not sure. Punk is one of those wild cards that doesn't seem to do that great outside of the ring, but I'll give him a shot. We'll see. To me, outside the ring, his UFC career, I probably would have had a better record. And I'm fat and short.
Yeah.
Put that on Twitter. Hashtag it. But for commentary, like for mixed martial arts, he isn't half bad at what he's been doing lately. I've listened to a couple of them, and yeah, he's not the best commentator we've heard on mixed martial arts, but then again, we've heard worst. So, and he
Yeah.
knows wrestling, and it's this backstage. The report going out is that Fox wants this to be legitimate, like a NFL or hockey, NHL type show where they're talking about what could go wrong, what is bad, what is good, you know.
So are they going full kayfabe with this, or are they going to go like halvesies?
I don't know, because apparently they want to do it like more like the WWE's legit sports, where you're going to talk about the negative booking, and I know a lot of people are gonna.
That won't work well.
It's not gonna work well with Vince. Knowing
Oh
how
no.
Vince is the guy that makes the final calls, and if there's, let's, here's one positive. I just want to say this, throw this out there. If they started a WWE backstage show episode after Hell in a Cell,
Oh,
and
that would be.
Punk was actually on the show, can you imagine how their reaction would be? But it did make me laugh that on the what's that YouTube show that Matt
What
McAfee
the watch along?
watch along? X-Pac was like, "Your guys are not gonna have me back on, but what the hell? How do you have a ending to a Hell in a Cell match and in DQ?"
Well, that's it. That's it. That's immediately it.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not going back on X-Pac. Just letting you know. Unless WWE was pushing for a little bit of that to let the fans know that you can say things, because they even kept it on the YouTube channel. They didn't take it off. They even made an extra clip for what X-Pac said. So it's
Oh
a
yeah.
little weird that they did that, because Vince McMahon was probably pissed off he even said that on their YouTube channel. But no, they shared that shit. So maybe they are actually legitimately trying to make this more like a NFL, where they talk about the negativity of what goes on.
Oh.
Like Hell in a Cell was like the Antonio Brown situation, but not you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what I'm trying to say, but along the lines of that, of the negative stuff. But I guess moving on so we can hurry up. We gotta get the show on the road, get it done. We'll go fast. How about this for the sink or swim segment? Who will sink or swim in WWE? The Viking Raiders or AOP?
AOP, because AOP had a shot at doing it very well, and it kind of got distraughted when people started pissing on stuff.
So they'll sink,
Yes.
and the Viking Raiders will swim.
Uh, the Viking Raiders have something that people actually like.
That is true. That is true. I'm going to agree with you on that one. Alright, let's move on to it now, okay? Who will sink or swim in AEW tag team wise, okay? Best friends or private party?
Oof.
That's why I never told you before the damn show about this one. Because I knew you were going to say that.
I think they're gonna split up best friends. So if we're talking, they're gonna be gone forever as a tag team. I think it's gonna be best friends.
Okay. I would say private party does swim. Indeed. I do agree with you on that. Alright, next one is if my phone stops glitching up. Will they sink or swim in WWE? Aleister Black.
Oh, I thought there was another person.
No, this is just will they.
I think if put in the right situation, he can swim. He can absolutely swim.
I agree. I think Aleister Black can swim. I don't think.
Yes, he can swim. We've seen him
swim.
in this pool.
Yeah. there's no way in hell they can really fuck up Aleister Black, but how many times have we said that? AOP, The Ascension, all those kind of guys. Matt Middleman also said AOP, so he's right on the dot with us. And the final one is, will they sink or swim for AEW? Darby Allin.
The character can do very well, but I think the person behind it is going to get into trouble. So I think via outside interference, he's going to sink.
Damn, this is the first time I disagree. Because I think he can swim.
I think if, again, there's a few things that I could see him doing well, but I just worry that something bad's going to happen and he goes off like a Jeff Hardy. And it becomes, stupefying. So
I think he has the potential to sink or swim. I'm still on the.
I've seen him do well. I've seen him do well.
Me too. I've seen him do well as too. But there's a potential. Man, I'm in the middle of this because there's potential of him sinking badly because everybody's just gonna think he's the spots guy, like the Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
But Jeff Hardy was also really good, even though he was like the spots guy. But then again, he has the potential to do what Jeff Hardy did, besides the whole DUI, drugs. To swim. So I mean, we'll see. And that's going to be the question for, in a future episode. And when we find out he sinks or swim, I'm going to have you back on the show later down the road, Hammers.
Yeah.
To see what your thoughts is on that too. So that's a good thing. But the last segment of the night, this is the last thing for the marks. We're going to talk quickly about the AEW reviews. Well, not the viewership score, whatever, with NXT. AEW had 1.9 million last week, and NXT had 890,000.
Not surprised. NXT was on originally like 2 weeks beforehand, so the ratings would have gone down. So that makes sense.
And I do want to just throw this out there. I don't mean to cut you off, but NXT did start 2 weeks before that. But what hurt NXT, for me, going up against AEW for the first week, is the whole they had to only do an hour on USA Network and the other hour on the WWE Network due to suits.
Well, yeah, but that shouldn't be a discounter. I mean, they still got 2 hours of television out live. Yes, so you can't really say, oh well, this is bad because they only had an hour on. This NXT was brought up on a whim. So with that whim happening, stuff had to change, and so you have to program around it. So with it even being on an hour on both the USA Network and then an hour on the WWE Network, it doesn't change anything. I mean, you still get that hour viewership there.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why I mentioned that it kind of hurt them because of the hour, is because you can't really tally up 2 hours of against technically the 890 was the 2-hour premiere on USA. Yeah. But the whole hour episodes before that, you can't really say that hurt them because of the fact that AEW wasn't going up against them at the time. So.
Yeah, but again, it's those 1 hour shows that are on the USA Network were just to give people a taste of what NXT would be like.
Yeah.
So think of those episodes as like teasers.
Pretty much.
And so
yes.
I would rather say that you gave them some free stuff on cable, and it's good. It was a good plan for those 2 weeks. Now you have to do it 2 hours on
On
national cable.
yeah, every week,
Yeah.
and going up against another company on a different channel at the same time from 8 to 10. And you can't.
So
But
tonight.
what's funny, Hammers, and this is probably gonna be my last thing that I even mention for
Mhm.
this segment is when I was on Twitter, I was reading some of the comments and tweets and stuff like that. And the one tweet that I read was, "Oh, NXT did horrible against AEW in the premiere up against them. Oh my goodness, AEW wins already." Shut up, because
Were you reading Brian Alvarez's Twitter?
I probably was. Probably was. And the reason why I say that is because, okay, the fans know what to I mean, the fans that have been familiar with NXT on the WWE Network, they know what they're getting with NXT. So yeah, some of the people that are diehard NXT fans, yeah, they tuned in. They were part of that 890. But then there was some diehard fans that probably went to AEW just to see if they have the potential of what NXT has been like for the last couple years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then there's people that, are familiar with TNT and they know that this is the AEW has the feel of WCW. So, yeah, there's going to be some hardcore fans that don't watch today's wrestling that may have tuned in to AEW just to see if it was kind of like WCW and had that feel. And to me, it does. Yes, a little bit. But you can't define um, the Wednesday Night Wars, you know, in 1 week of viewership. You can't. And for those people that tweet that AEW already winning and they're already going to beat NXT, NXT's going to get, cut by USA within a year, just in 1 week, you can't define that. And for those people, it seems like they're not knowledgeable on wrestling.
Or contracts. like
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot of money to cut a contract like NXT out or a TNT out. Well, I'm betting the TNT contract's a little different, but you're still talking about a lot of money now going to waste. So it becomes a measuring stick. Like, is it worth the cost to keep it up and going, or is it not? You can't really. It's too difficult. I think if both products do well, both products do well, and congratulations. That's it.
Yeah. And if you're an actual wrestling fan, you're not going to want to see either one, you know, fail. Of
Go
course,
down like a dog with rabies.
yeah, and to me, NXT's not going to fail on the USA Network. And to me, AEW, it's too early to tell. And if you're a fan, you want to see them both succeed, so you have all the wrestling you can watch. I mean, I'm happy for AEW. And I don't want anybody to go on Twitter and say, well, Logan, you're more on NXT side. No, I'm not. And I don't even think Hammers is on a certain side. Neither one of us is going to pick
I just
one or
want to
the
see good
other.
wrestling, bro.
Yeah. I want to see good storylines, good wrestling. NXT provides that. AEW provides it too. They both do. And they're both going to succeed. And to me, I don't even think NXT or AEW is worried about beating one another because they just want to give the fans what they want. And what most fans want to see is good wrestling, like us. But then there are that group of, idiots that want to see the other, sink or swim. See what I did there?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, Hammers, I'm gonna watch both. I literally on my TV because I didn't get to watch last week's NXT or AEW. So this week what I did, I put USA on my laptop and on the TV I had AEW because I wanted to hear Tony and Jim Ross on commentary because I didn't get to hear it last week. I wanted to see both. I wanted to be and Hammers. I just wanted to let you know. I know you didn't get to see NXT, but what was cool about some of the commercial breaks was NXT would go on commercial break while AEW was still on, and then AEW's commercial came on when NXT came back on sometimes. But then there was a couple times where they both were on. Um, I think NXT is going to try to outdo AEW in the main event, and I think it's going to be the other way around too. Because I did notice AEW went off right at like 10 o'clock and NXT stayed on for just a couple minutes after. Of course they're going to try to outdo each other. It's competition. And if you don't enjoy competition to make both shows great, then I don't know what to say, right? But other than that, Hammers, do you have anything else to say?
Nope, not really.
Nope, not really. All right, guys, but this has been the first episode of For the Marks. We will see you next week. We're going to try to make it an earlier time. We're going to also try to make it a quicker show, so it's not an hour and 40 minutes. But ladies and gentlemen, if you stuck with us the whole night, the whole time, then we really thank you. And to shout out to Mad Metal Man in the chat. Thanks for commenting. And he's, by the way, the last thing he said was, "I'm not familiar enough. I'm a bad wrestling fan." He says, "No, you're not, sir. You stuck with us.
All of us are bad wrestling fans.
Yeah, pretty much. But other than that, I hope you guys did get to check out FOW Stardom. We had some good parts. Part 1 was awesome. Part 2 was even better. And Part 3 just ended it perfectly. But we are on the road to Baptized in Blood.
I thought it was Baptized in Hell.
Oh, Baptized in Hell. My bad. I'm thinking about the future. But either way, we're on the road. And also, what else is coming on FOW's Hammers?
The Piper Memorial tournament or cup.
Yeah. Yep. Piper's Memorial Cup is on its way. We are also going to have individual like house show matches coming to the channel. So if you're not a big fan of watching the whole hour episode, we are going to actually have just one match, 2 matches on a video for you for the tournament. Try to give you guys a little easier way of watching it, so you don't have to skip through, because I know some people do. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, For the Marks, episode 1 down, check plus. We will see you episode number 2 next week on whenever we will schedule it on Twitter. But as from us, Hammers, you want to do your gimmicks one more time?
Do you want me to just do the cliff notes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Do you have any more? One last.
Oh yes, one last Billy Gunn fact for everyone. Let me find a good one here. It is heard that Billy Gunn once beat Chuck Norris in an arm wrestling match, but Chuck Norris denies the fact the arm wrestling match even happened, due to the fact it might damage his tough guy reputation.
Wow, didn't know that.
That
was a good fact.
Also, bonus fact: Billy Gunn was, and always will be the one.
Yes, the one. As for me and Hammers, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys next week. And I didn't get to plug myself earlier, but you guys can check me out on Twitter at Logan Myers 144. And Hammers, you can check him out, Hammers from Hell on Twitter as well, and K&H Show on YouTube. Look him up, subscribe, like, and enjoy the content. We'll see you next week. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Especially you, ladies.